God designed the human body as a powerful, finely tuned machine, capable of great strength and endurance, but it needs fuel to keep running. So why would anyone willingly choose to go without food? The world often calls this dieting, typically done to lose weight or for health purposes. However, some people refrain from eating for spiritual reasons, a practice referred to in the Bible as fasting. Fasting is usually done for a specific period of time to achieve a spiritual purpose. As Jesus taught his disciples in Matthew 6:16-18, "When you fast, do not look somber like the hypocrites do, for they disfigure their faces to show others they are fasting. Truly I tell you, they have received their reward in full. But when you fast, put oil on your head and wash your face, so that it won't be obvious to others that you are fasting, but only to your Father, who is unseen. And your Father, who sees what is done in secret, will reward you." Fasting draws God's attention by giving up something that is both necessary and pleasurable, like food. Even in Jesus' time, he cautioned against flaunting this spiritual practice. His advice to his disciples not to fast for public recognition shows that he considers fasting an authentic spiritual discipline. Fasting is a temporary sacrifice, abstaining from a physical desire, usually food, so you can focus on spiritual needs. Rather than eating, you spend that time in private prayer, seeking God's will and intervention. If you've never fasted before, the idea of going without food might seem daunting. Some people wonder, can I endure this? They don't want to begin a journey they can't finish. Others may worry about how they'll be perceived by their peers. But the solution is simple. Fasting isn't about impressing friends or making it known to anyone. In fact, you don't have to tell anyone. As Jesus emphasized, when you fast, anoint your head and wash your face, so you don't appear to men to be fasting, but to your Father who is in the secret place. And your Father, who sees in secret, will reward you openly. Matthew 6:17-18. Jesus was reminding us that true devotion to God doesn't need public display. Fasting, therefore, is a private commitment between you and God. You may fast alone or join a public fast with your church or community. As a biblical discipline, fasting strengthens spiritual fitness and prepares you to be a warrior of prayer for God's kingdom. Some might argue that Christians don't need discipline, but spiritual strength is built through practice. Just as soldiers train in various disciplines, Christians must also exercise self-control. Fasting is just one of many disciplines in the life of a believer. Much like climbing a mountain, fasting is both a spiritual and physical challenge. Begin this journey with clarity about your purpose, knowing that the path may be difficult, but the rewards are beyond measure. If it's your first fast, start small. What may seem like a minor step of faith to others could be monumental for you, and God honors those who take even the smallest steps of faith. God is deeply concerned about the posture of your heart during a fast. Your attitude plays a crucial role in your fast. Just like when a man proposes to a woman, it's not the length of the proposal that wins her over, but the sincerity of his heart. So as you begin fasting, don't be preoccupied with how long the fast should last. What matters most is that your relationship with God is strong and in alignment. God knows everything. He values the authenticity of your prayers far more than their duration. If this is your first time fasting, consider starting small with a one-meal skip fast. In the Old Testament, the Jewish people were required to fast one day each year on Yom Kippur. Their day started at sundown and ended at sundown the next day, according to the Jewish calendar. As outlined in Genesis 1:5, God taught the Jews how to mark the beginning of days. So the evening and the morning were the first day. You might plan to begin your fast when the sun goes down, skipping the evening meal. Then continue fasting through breakfast and lunch the following day, breaking your fast with a normal meal after sunset. If you are fasting for a specific answer to prayer, consider inviting someone to fast and pray with you. There's great power in unity. As Jesus said in Matthew 18:18-19, "Truly I tell you, whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven." Again, truly I tell you that if two of you on earth agree about anything they ask for, it will be done for them by my Father in heaven. These words aren't just about prayer. They also speak to the strength that comes from making a commitment alongside someone else. Purposeful fasting. When preparing to fast, look deep within yourself and determine your reason for fasting. Write down your cause so you can see it clearly in front of you. If left only in your mind, your purpose may become unclear or vague over time. You might already have a general sense of why you're fasting, but taking the time to write down your reason will sharpen your focus and intention. Plan carefully. Don't approach fasting with a casual or indifferent mindset. Commit fully. Set a firm goal to fast for one day, no matter the circumstances. What kind of fast should you choose? The absolute fast. This is a fast where all food and water is eliminated. Paul took this type of fast for 3 days after encountering the Lord on the road to Damascus, when he was struck blind. Acts 9:9 recounts. And Paul was 3 days without sight and neither ate nor drank. For your first fast, avoid the absolute fast. This type of fast is meant for extreme circumstances, like deep distress, battling addiction, or seeking deliverance from a spiritual adversary. The normal fast. This fast involves abstaining from all solid foods, consuming only liquids. Fasting in the Bible often refers to abstaining from solid foods, but it doesn't always mention the exclusion of liquids. In Luke 4:2 it states, "In those days he, Jesus, ate nothing, and afterward when they had ended, he was hungry." It does not specify whether Jesus drank liquids. When people fast, what should they drink? Many choose to forego indulgent drinks like sodas or fruit juices, aligning with the biblical concept of afflicting oneself during a fast. The partial fast. In this fast, you abstain from certain foods or drinks, but not all. This is also known as the Daniel fast. Whichever fast you decide to undertake, remember that it is a step of faith. God sees your heart and will reward you accordingly.